You are live now.
Hello, everyone. Isaka, please confirm you can see my screen. Hello.
I can see your screen. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Good day, everyone. Welcome to my health is hour. Right. It's so nice to have this class again with you all. I am Victoria Inebeli, and today I'm going to be talking about like answering some questions that were sent in concerning front end. Yes. So basically for today, I checked the questions and we have Slack related questions, calendar questions, and questions concerning browser issues. And then we have other questions and front end questions. So I'm just going to, address all of those questions. And if there are new questions to be attended to in the next office hour. So before I start, I'd like to say that I have other mentors on the call, like Isiaka. Isiaka, thank you so much for joining the call. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead to answer the questions concerning Slack. So I see that a lot of you are complaining about joining Slack, that the URL is not working, something about the Zuri team email. Well, these questions actually came in before today, and we had the onboarding section yesterday. So I want to assume that you all attended the section. If you did not attend the onboarding section yesterday, please do well to check the video on YouTube. It is recorded. The Slack issue was actually addressed in the video, right? So you don't need to be too worried, right? Everything is going to be okay, right? And the Slack tags, if the Slack tags, you're actually going to be able to submit your Slack tags, right? So yeah. So talking about the calendar issues, so I got some questions about Python calendars and other track calendars. So I need you all to know that I am a front-end mentor, right? And I'll be attending to questions concerning front-end. I also saw other questions about Python codes and the like. I am basically a front-end mentor. So every question that should be sent to me, or every question that should be filled in the form should be related to front-end, right? So for the front end issue, for the calendar issue, so I'm going to actually send the link to the calendar, right? To the front end calendar. For those of you that missed the calendar or having issues with the calendar, I'm going to send the link again to the front end calendar. So I'm going to send this to the chat box. Isiaka, please help me post it on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. So I just sent that in.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. So if you do front end, if you registered for front end or you're doing full stack, basically front end office hours are different from the other stack combined with the front end. Some of you guys are doing front end and Python. Some of you guys are doing front end and Node.js. So the front end calendar, you should also add the front end calendar, right? The front end calendar is actually for the front end mentors. So when you add the calendar, when you check the calendar, Isaka should have sent it by now. And you check the calendar, you see the available office hours of the front end mentors, right? When I mentioned alarm yesterday, normally when you had the calendar to your calendar, you're supposed to like get notifications about office hours, but you can still go ahead to, set an alarm on your phone manually so you don't miss an office hour you're interested in, right? So the office hour, somebody also asked if she must attend all the office hours. We have different office hours to accommodate different people. So if you cannot attend a particular office hour, you can attend the next one. You don't need to attend all of them because the office hours basically are just like support classes, right? We have given out the resources. You have to read these resources and then come back with your questions. So if you have gone through these resources and you don't have issues with your tax, you can handle everything, you understand everything well. If you don't attend the office hours, you don't have anything to worry about because the office hour is basically to attend to question and, help you understand better the resources that were sent out, right? So once again, I can still see some messages on YouTube about the Slack channel. Please do well to visit the onboarding video on YouTube so you can, listen first and for information about Slack. Yeah, so talking about the incognito, right? So somebody also asked that he cannot, he pasted a URL in his incognito tab and the URL is not opening. Basically, what incognito does for you is, Iseka, please confirm you can still see my screen. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so what incognito does for you is, incognito actually helps you to view your URL as if you are not the person, you're not the owner, right? So when you use incognito to view your URL, it displays the way others will see it, right? It displays the way others will see it. So if you paste the URL in your incognito tab and it's not displaying, then it means that the person you send the link to will not see what exactly you want them to see. So you want to do well to check your URL because incognito always works well. So you want to do well to check your URL. Maybe mistake somewhere. Maybe so now focus on the general questions and front-end related questions. So when it comes to
Victoria, can you hear me?
tax and deadlines, right? You're supposed to, you need to be sure that, yes, I can hear you. Is there any problem? Okay, I think Isaac is having network issues. So basically, once you submit your work, you cannot resubmit your work again. So you want to be sure. You want to be very, very sure that, okay, some people are saying they can't hear me. Let me confirm.
Yeah, you had a network glitch for some seconds.
Oh, okay. So sorry about that. Okay, yeah. So what I was saying, I said, once you submit your tax on the LMS, you cannot resubmit. So before submitting, you have to ensure that your work is correct. You have to also ensure that you have read the question properly and you're doing the right thing. Because once you submit, you cannot resubmit. So if you have submitted something wrong, there's really nothing that can be done, right? You have submitted, you have submitted. So that is it for that question. And then somebody asked if content to be sent out beforehand. Yes, we're going to send in content for weeks, right? So it is up to you if you want to like go further and then watch the videos for week 2, the videos for week 3 or week 4 and 5, you can do that. But we're going to be attending to questions on a weekly basis based on the week's content, because this is actually a beginner friendly cohort. So we don't want the beginners to be left behind, because we know that definitely some of you guys here are not really beginners and some are from previous cohorts. So we want to make sure that the beginners are carried along. So we are going to be attending to issues. We're going to be treating every office hours with regards to the weekly contents. Yeah, weekly contents. So somebody also asked if she can use, a form was sent. So the form is on the LMS, and for the resources, please, let me just log into the LMS and show you where the resources are. The resources will be sent in as posts. The resources will be sent in as posts. So when you check your post, the resources is also the same thing as materials. So if I say resources, I'm also referring to materials, right? So when you check posts here, if you are doing front end, because we can actually make a general post, or we can make a post based on your track. So if you're doing front end, you should be able to see every post pertaining to front end, right? So if there are like different posts here, if you go through, you should get an email automatically when a post is made or when a task is actually published. So when you check post here, you can see that it says front end week 1, introduction to programming, right? These are the resources you would be needing for the first week, right? So yeah, the resources are actually published on, so you can check the elements. It's actually very structured. So we have combined the videos that you're going to be needing for the week's tasks, and then we have posted it on the LMS. So the LMS is actually very, very important. You have to, check the LMS from time to time. Yeah. So somebody asked if she can use a phone for the training, right? So I've never used a phone to code before, but if you don't have a laptop, I will not still say you should like not try at all. Since you have a phone and you don't have a laptop and you have tools in your phone that you can use to code, you can just use that to try till you get a laptop. But definitely you cannot compare a phone to a laptop. A laptop is actually what is fit for the job, but you can attempt and keep on trying with the phone. So like I said, somebody was asking for the classes to be moved from Saturday. Just a repetition. Classes, we have different office hours because we want it to be that, okay, if you cannot attend Monday, you can attend Saturday. If you cannot attend Saturday, you can attend Tuesday. So whatever works for you. The office hour on Saturday, if you don't want to attend it, then that's fine. You can attend other ones to ask your questions. So we're not going to be moving classes from Saturday. There's some people that also want the Saturday class. So if Saturday works for you, you can join the Saturday class. Yes. So talking about the Figma profile URL, somebody said that it cannot generate his profile URL, that when he actually pastes his URL, this URL here, if you copy it now and then you open in an incognito tab, so it said it displays this, which is figma.com login to Figma. This is because the link you're copying actually is not your public profile link. Figma has 2 profiles, your internal profile and your public profile, right? Your internal profile and your public profile. So this is actually my internal profile, right? Yeah, I can see things, right? This is my internal profile. If you want to get your public profile, you have to, first of all, create a community profile. I already have a community profile here, but if you have not created a community profile, you can click on settings. When you click on settings, you should see you should see a button, right, to create community profile, but I already have mine. So I'm just going to click on my community profile. If I click on my community profile, it takes me here. This is the profile that you send to people. So if I copy this profile link here now, this is my community profile. People can see this. If I go to incognito now and I paste this here, and I paste this here, and I paste this here, you can see that it displays well. So you may be wondering why we asked you all to create a Figma account. To create a Figma account, that is basically because you're going to be working with designers. So it's just like good you have an overall idea of how they are like, or how their Figma to look like actually. So you just like get an overall idea. So when you check the resources, you should see a video that talks about how to set up Figma, and then another video on like an introduction to Figma. So you just get an overall understanding of how designers work, since you're going to be working with designers in the long run. Yeah. So the next question says, so the next question actually requested that I explain things for Mac users, right? So I'm using a Windows machine, but yeah, Silver Codes, another front-end mentor, uses a Mac machine, right? A Mac and Linux machine. So you can do well to attend this class to, get a Mac version of things, right? So you can check the calendar. His name is Silver Codes. It has classes on Saturday. So you can do well to attend to see the Mac versions of things. But I'm using Windows, so I'm definitely going to be working the way I'm supposed to work with Windows. Yeah. So the next question says, the next question asks about CodePen assignments. The person said that he doesn't know how to use CodePen or understand how to sign up for CodePen. That is actually the reason why we sent in resources. You're supposed to actually go through the resources. You're supposed to actually go through the resources, right? When you go through the resources, you'll see a video on how to use CodePen, how to set up CodePen. If after watching this video, you still do not understand, at this point in time, after watching that video, you still do not understand, it means that you should have a direct question, maybe a particular point in the video that you do not understand. So you can now like give us that kind of question and we're going to attend to it. But right now, you don't understand how to set up CodePen at all, then it means that you have not gone through the video. So please do well to go through the resources. Then if you still do not understand it, please send a direct, a more direct question about it, and we'll attend to the question. And for those talking about the Slack, like I said, you'll be able to join Slack. And also those talking about the Figma link, right? So please, your profile link, that's what you should actually send, your profile link. If you have submitted the wrong link, you can, check your Google Docs. If they have not marked it, you can quickly like change the wrong link you put in there to the right link, since you actually submitted the Google Docs link, right? So somebody said he has been trying to log in the LMS, but he has not been able to log in, right? If you're trying to log in the LMS and it's giving you error, or it's telling you your email is not correct, then it is probably true that your email is not correct, because every other person has been logging in the LMS and there has not been any issues. So please do well to check your email. You want to also make sure that you're actually, because you can have multiple emails on your device, you want to make sure that you are logged into the correct one. You're logged into the correct one. So check that very, very well and try again, right? Try again. You can, refresh and try again. Yeah. So somebody's asking if for project phase, we're going to have projects, right? So for project phase, at least you actually have one standard project at least, right? One standard project that will actually push you to put everything you have learned so far into practice. Also, if you enroll a course, right? If you have applied for, let's say, full stack, and then if you applied for full stack and then you changed your course to front end, everything that you have done for full stack, the tax you have submitted for full stack is going to go off, right? Because you are coming in now as a front end person. So you are expected to redo all the tax as a front end person, right? So if you have done tax before for full stack and then you can't find them again, that is because you changed your course. And so that's everything also changed. So if you are for front end now or you are for other courses, right? Please do well to do all your tax again, right? So yeah, all classes will be streamed on YouTube. For those asking if all classes will be streamed on YouTube, yes, all classes will be streamed on YouTube. So you can always check YouTube, right? For maybe you want to watch a class or stuff like that, you can check YouTube at any point in time. All classes will be streamed to YouTube. So concerning the video we sent out, somebody asked what really is the difference between a browser and a search engine. So basically, a browser actually gives you access to the internet in the first place. Why? When you have a browser, you can now access a search engine, right? So the browser, let's say the browser, like normally you have your phones and laptop does not have a browser. You cannot access the internet. You cannot access the internet without a browser. So when you connect to the internet, let's say using browsers like Internet Explorer or Safari, right? When you now connect to the internet, it is through the browser that you can now use a search engine like Google, right? So Google is a search engine, Bing is a search engine. You actually access the search engine through the browser, right? So that is the difference between a browser and a search engine. Also, when you use a search engine, you'll see different answers, right? Concerning what you have searched for. So Google is a search engine, Chrome is a browser, right? Safari is a browser, Internet Explorer is a browser, Bing is a search engine, right? So without the browser, you cannot use a search engine. That's kind of relationship. Yeah. So for those asking me if the form for full stack, like I said, I am doing just front end. So the form I sent out are for front end questions. So for the full stack, right? Full stack, you have to check the elements if there are any posts on the combination you have, right? There should be posts on Node.js, Python, and the like, right? So you want to check the elements if they are posts like that. But I'm going to also confirm from the mentors if forms will be sent out to take questions. But for my form, it's just for front-end questions, right? So I have another question about the difference between a high level programming language and a low level programming language. Basically, the difference is the fact that the low level is actually for low level we have the machine language. The machine language is actually the computer understands the machine language, right? The machine language is a low level language and the computer understands it because it is written in zeros and one, right? It is written in zeros and one. While the assembly language, it's a low level language, but it's not like the computer understands it directly, but it is actually very, very close because it looks like the machine language. So it's considered low level, right? So, but for high level languages are like JavaScript, Java, C++, and the likes. Those languages that we humans can look at and understand easily, right? We cannot easily understand machine language except you really want to really go into that. But high-level languages are closer to humans, while low-level languages are closer to machines, right? So that is basically the difference between a low-level language and a high-level language. So for this cohort, we are going to take, somebody asked what we are going to be taking for this cohort. We're going to take HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, the fundamentals, and then do an introduction to React, right? So we won't be touching CSS frameworks like Bootstrap. We're going to be teaching just pure CSS, JavaScript, and HTML and React, right? So that is it. And then somebody asked, please, what is the extension format for an HTML file? So an HTML file has the extension .html. The CSS file has the extension .css. You can give it any name you want, but it has to end in .css for CSS files. It has to end in .html for HTML files, and it has to end in .js for JavaScript files. So by next week, we should start HTML properly. So when we start HTML properly, you get to understand more about HTML. So somebody asked why front-end techniques are always changing. So basically, the whole world is evolving. Technology is always changing. They're always updating things. They're always creating new things, creating new phone, creating new devices that have different screen sizes, right? Just the way it's not like a thing with only front end. It's a general thing. Even in life, humans change, right? Things evolve, right? So same thing with front end. There are new devices, there are updates on programming languages. So that's the kind of change I'm referring to. So as a front-end developer, you just have to be up to date, right? You just have to be up to date on what you're working on. Not even as a front-end developer, as a human being, anything you're doing, you just have to be up to date, right? So let's say you are a front-end developer and you are building an application. You're building an application. So let's say you are still thinking that, okay, we have only you are building this application for only, let's say, BlackBerry, right? We have other devices with different screen sizes. So if you build an application without even knowing the available devices that people use and stuff like that, it's like you're building an application for just one set of people, right? So you have to, be up to date. You just have to know what is happening, right? This will actually help you build solutions that will actually solve real world problems instead of solutions that will give people headache. Because if you build an application, let's say let's say you build an application that is not responsive. If an application that is not responsive, it's going to be very, very frustrating for you to build an application for only a desktop device or a laptop device, and then you see people now start complaining so much about how it displays on a smaller screen size and the like. So it's actually frustrating. So you want to know who you're building for, what you're building, and you just have to be up to date, right? So like I said, materials are the same as resources. So when I refer to resources, I'm still referring to the materials published on the LMS. And the resources will always be on the LMS, right? As far as you can log in, you can always check. You can see that we have here on the LMS, we have different pages right now, 1, 2, and 3. But it will always be here. Probably it will not be in the first page or the third page for any resource you are looking for, right? So yeah, somebody also said that he doesn't understand what it means to publish a Figma account. So me, I don't understand your question either. You were asked to actually set up a Figma account. So just set up a Figma account and send in your profile link. So I do not understand your questions, but that is all the question we have. So those are all the questions we have on the form that I sent out, right? So, and I think I've given good answers to them. For those having Slack issues, please be patient. You will definitely be able to join Slack. And yeah, that's it. Isaka, please, you have something to add to what I just explained? Hello, Isaac, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so were you able to get any? I've attended to all the questions on the form, right? The form responses. So did you get any question from the YouTube channel?
Well, no, most of these questions, I believe, because we are the process we have right now, we have a little things to work on. So there's just repetitive questions. So I think there are no other questions like that that require time.
Okay, so if
Oh,
you
wait, give me a minute. Let me still check again.
okay, that's fine. Thank you. So please and please, if you submitted your tax, we are grading, and we're working on it, please. So if you submitted your tax and it has not been graded, please be rest assured that we are going to grade it. There are about 20,000 plus students, I think, for this cohort, and everyone is submitting. So be rest assured that we are going to grade your tax, and we're working on it steadfastly. So yeah, thank you so very much. Isaka, if there are no questions from the LMS, I think I've addressed all the questions on the form. Please, I want to encourage you all to, take the cohort very seriously. Check the form. You can still send in more questions. We're going to be having office hours every week. We had one on Monday. I'm having one now with you Wednesday. Based on the calendar, we'll be having office hours. So you want to do well to send in your questions, and we'll always attend to it, right? Thank you so much for attending the class. Isaka, if there are no questions on the YouTube channel, then
Yeah, we don't really have question there. Yeah, we don't have question.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Then also I want to, for those of you that have joined Slack, um, for those of you that have joined Slack, you can also do well to, read the announcements here, but please be rest assured that everything that we do, every important information will definitely be published on the LMS, right? Every important information will be published on the LMS, right? Slack is actually secondary to the LMS. The LMS is the number one. So if you have not been able to join Slack, please be patient. You'll be able to join Slack, but please do not feel left out. Every single information is on the LMS. Thank you for joining my class. See you all next time.
All right. Have a nice day, everyone.
Okay, bye all. Thank you, Isaka.
Yeah. Okay. You have not stopped the live stream,